Good evening. This is a really impromptu video. I thought I'd sneak one out before Christmas, and also I'm kind of like showing off my beautiful snow globe. I always wanted a snow globe. Found this in a garden centre last year. This is by that company, is it Geisler? Absolutely fell in love with this one because it's not typically Christmas. It's all about the animals. It's beautiful woodland creatures, and you can skip forward, by the way, if this is boring. But the tune is adorable. Do you recognise it? Talk to the animals. How beautiful is this though? So yeah, this is our pretty kind of backdrop for today. I'm gonna let it run its course. One sec. Probably shouldn't have started this. Hang on, let it run. Oh, I think we're ready. So yeah, thanks for joining me this evening. I generally don't get time for videoing, filming, and just really sitting down and having the time to think about fragrance. But having said that, I did want to sneak in a little video before Christmas. I've just got an hour this evening. I'm chilled, drinking coffee with Baileys in it because it's just the season. The video is just me packing a ton of stuff in all at once. So all the latest things I've got that have been added to my collection and my favourites at the moment. I think we'll just start on the most recent additions to my collection first. So anything that's new, and that isn't that recent. I think these kind of spread out over the last sort of 3 months, really. Let me start with the Penhaligon. So I mentioned in a previous video that I've really fallen for the potions and remedies, the new lineup from Penhaligon. So I have all really nice fragrances, and I've ended up with 3. And the 3 that I have and I enjoy the most are Kiss of Bliss, Liquid Love. Let's move this little thing and shake it again. And Vroom. And I'm not going to dwell on notes too much and try and get through all these as quickly as possible. The Audacity is excellent as well, but I've got Baby Cat and it's so similar, and I've realised that Baby Cat has the edge for me. It just has a much more rich depth to it, and I prefer it. So these are the 3 that I wanted in my collection. So Kiss of Bliss has actually ended up being the one I pulled for the most. This has been my favourite one, despite being the most underwhelmed with it in the beginning. The first impressions were me thinking it's very much like Cloud from Ariana Grande. It also has a bit of a Baccarat vibe, Rouge vibe, a bit of a kind of candy floss, ethyl maltol, sweet, whipped, spun sugar vibe about it. But it's prettier and it's softer and it's like a soapier version somehow. The notes will never sum up how this smells. I don't think you can go by that. There's an unusual note of clover. I think there's even sage in here. But what I get in here is sweet, fun, cute. There's something kind of soft and almost infant-like. That's just me. I don't know why I get like an infant vibe from that. I see like pastel colours, and there's something almost creamy and sweet as well. It's very pleasant. Like I say in the beginning, it reminds you of other things, but once you wear it, it's so pleasant and easy and clean and fresh, and it's just beautiful. Liquid Love is also like other rose fragrances that I've had. It's actually quite a vegetal rose. I believe there is ginger and chili. Don't get much of the ginger, which is good because I'm really not a huge ginger fan in fragrance. There's as much sweet as there is kind of sour, and it balances really, really nicely. There's a very fresh vibe to this as well. I love the rose in here. It feels red, but it feels like a garden rose. There's definitely green touches to it, and there's a fresh zinginess. But what the chili I thought is bringing is more of a vegetable vibe as opposed to a heated, hot, sort of spicy vibe. And it is sort of spicy, but more vegetal spicy. And it's very pleasant. It's very beautiful. It has a lovely sillage. Really happy with that one. I wear both of these. This one I haven't reached for yet because I think it's going to be very much a spring summer scent. Osmanthus Apricot Bomb, and it's bright and it's fresh and it's fluffy and citrusy. Not too citrusy, but like it gives it that freshness. But it's definitely fluffy and yellow. But there is an edge to this, and there's leather in this, and I love that actually. I think that it's very melded in, it's very blended in with the flowers. It just gives it this edge, this bit of darkness maybe, or a bit of I don't know, a bit of Vroom, I guess. And it kind of smells like it could even be a touch of cumin, which is not for everyone. That's how it comes off, like a little bit animalic, but it's such a great combination. I love how apricotty and fluffy flowery it is, as well as having this interesting little bit of Vroom. Apparently Vroom is a shade of yellow, so maybe that's a play on word to how yellow it smells. Yeah, those are the 3 that I love the most, and I'm extremely happy to have them. Right, I'm going to get through these next ones quite snappy because honestly I want to make the editing process as kind to myself as possible. The less I talk, the easier it's going to be, let's be honest. So next I ended up buying a partial of Gris Dior. Now I've already owned a bottle of this and sold it. I've repurchased a partial because the sample I had, I started wearing it. Thought, oh no, why did I sell my bottle? This is great fragrance. I like this for maybe 3 days of the year because it works on very cold days. Okay, so I've had to be really practical here and think, okay, I only wear this on a few days of the year, cold days, this is all I need. So I bought this on eBay. I love this beautiful dog tooth bottle. Gris Dior is obviously a popular one from Dior. It's a beautiful cold rose chypre, and it has patchouli and oak moss, which can be a little heady for me. I definitely couldn't wear this any other time of the year. I find those aspects are too dominant. But on a cold day, there is something about this fragrance that just works. It works, it's so beautiful. It's a winter floral, it's a winter rose. It's just so pretty. So I've allowed myself a partial back in my collection because it is the practical approach. So that is Gris Dior. Next, we have 2 gems from Airio. A really quirky sort of Victorian theatrical kind of fragrance house. The guy, Vincent, his name is a real character. And he makes some really cool, quirky fragrances, designs all the bottles himself, pours wax over them to seal them. How cool is that? I fell in love with Swan Maiden and Annwyn. I took advantage of the buy one, get one free, which is an incredible deal. Swan Maiden is my favourite. It's so unusual. It's very unique. It's very artisan, very niche, not for everyone. That's my first love. Annwyn is just such a sweet, fun and enjoyable fragrance. That's my second favourite. Annwyn is a passion fruit white chocolate musk sort of fragrance. I think these are freshly poured because I feel like it's very slightly different to the sample. I don't feel like the richness, the maceration has happened yet. It's quite it's a small company, small batch I imagine, and they probably were freshly poured this year. And I know that you have to leave some fragrances alone for a while for them to macerate and just do their magic. It's floral and sweet, and also like this lovely easy musk. And this one is actually beautiful though. This one is so hard to explain. It's an animalic sweet white floral. It has white chocolate. It has forget-me-not. There's a lot of notes in here. I can't remember them all. I think there's some ambergris in here as well. It's a very unusual combination. It has a slightly vintage touch. There's something so weird about it, and I absolutely love it. It always makes me think of mother of pearl. It's just something about the white and slightly iridescent surface, but having a sort of animalic hue about it as well. It's very different. It's very weird, and it's so beautiful. Yeah, ghostly, and I definitely think it's whimsical. So those are those 2 new from Airio. Staying in the theme of whimsical, weird, artisan, indie fragrance houses, we have a fragrance from Radolescent, fantastic UK brand here. I've already got Alice, which I've mentioned on many videos, and QH was my second favourite. So that's Queen of Hearts. It is the whole Alice collection. So there are 3 in this collection. You've got the Mad Hatter, QH and Alice. I'm really pleased that the brand brought out 15ml bottles. That's only in the past month they've done that, which is fantastic because QH is a scent that I wouldn't want to wear all the time, and it's just a very specific scent that I personally associate with Christmas. It's a red rose fragrance, naturally being the Queen of Hearts, but it has a bit of an animalic quality. It has, there's a cumin note in here which could be quite dominant. I find it quite dominant, but it does really work. I think there's iris in here, I'm not sure, but there's definitely this kind of like a doughy texture, like a wet pre-baked dough, like a dough, but it's spicy. There's a lovely, well, I mean, obviously the cumin's bringing in the spices, but it's like there's an extra layer of spiciness and something between the nuances of the notes, I'm not sure, brings also like a fruity, like a deep dark fruity quality. So that in a nutshell to me says Christmas. It's like a pre-baked spiced Christmas bread dough pudding thing, and I really enjoy it. So again, something I only wear on specific occasions, but 15ml is fantastic, and I just love also the little touches, the artwork in the little 15ml boxes. Queen of Hearts there, they're fantastic. I'm really enjoying this house, and there's more that I want to try from this house as well. So that is QH. Next is a beautiful fragrance, lovely for this season, and it's a fragrance I inadvertently fell in love with. I was comparing it to Clandestine Clara on a previous video, saying that they're so similar to Clandestine Clara from Penhaligon's. I eat my words now, I'm totally wrong. I had a comment in that previous video telling me that no, I don't think it is actually the same as Clandestine Clara, and I thought, okay, well, I'll give it another go. And actually, on the second impression, it's nothing like Clandestine Clara. It's basically, I'm talking about Starlight from Xerjoff. I've since booted Clandestine Clara. Sorry, Clandestine Clara, but you didn't end up living up to Starlight. This is absolutely beautiful, and it's given me far more than that one did. Of a similar family, you know, it's on a similar sort of profile, but they don't smell the same. Starlight is a resinous, a rich resinous, a luminous cardamom cookie. Resinous and rich and expensive smelling, as it is sort of, what's the word? It's cardamom, but it's warm, and it's been baked in something. An unsweetened cookie. There's something very delicious here. It's not all about the cookie, it's more about this cardamom and resinous quality, but there is something slightly warm and baked in here. It's absolutely beautiful. This little 15ml is adorable. I didn't think I'd get through so much, but I sprayed the crap out of it. I've got a backup 15ml bottle because I think it's a much more safe size to get when I've got so many fragrances. Yeah, absolutely loving Starlight. Fantastic fragrance. Really happy with that. Next one, I relented. I finally gave in to the massive hype. I mean, the hype train probably has passed at this point. But it's still featured in so many people's top 10 videos, favourite fragrances of all time videos. It's from Killian, and it is, of course, Angel's Share. Now, I've always been in love with Eau Jayne from Parfums de Marly, and they are very similar. They are very similar, but they are not the same. They give a different kind of feeling. I still love my Eau Jayne, but Eau Jayne to me is, although it's a sort of boozy, apple, cinnamon, delicious scent, it's definitely more foodie. It reminds me of a strudel with custard. This one is all about the booze. This is a liquid gourmand, not a food gourmand, and it is definitely a delicious, sweet, warming, Moorish, multi-layered, spicy, cognac, nutty, appley, cinnamon. Oh my god. I had a sample, and I never bothered going back to it because I had Eau Jayne. What was the point? And then, I don't know, I see so many people talking about this, and I thought, I'm going to go and sniff my sample again, and I wore it. But it's not until I got the sillage throughout the day and I really enjoyed it and I immersed myself into this experience of wearing it properly that I finally got it. Something clicks, and I thought, oh my god, this is good. This is seriously good. I've got to have this because I'm enjoying it so much. I want to continue to enjoy this experience of this beautiful fragrance. And I got this on eBay. It was actually a partial. There's not much really been used, but it was a partial. And I love this. This is perfect. So I totally get it now. I get it. I get it. The bottle is stunning. It is really beautiful. It's very heavy. It is literally like having a lovely heavy cut glass of a cognac of some description. Only it's a bottle of perfume. I mean, the lid is slightly lighter. It's all about the weight in this part, but it is stunning, isn't it? It's a fantastic concept from Killian. Very, very clever. So over the moon with Angel's Share. Very, very pleased to have that. Next, we have one from Byron. I took advantage of the Black Friday sales with this one because I don't think it is worth all the money. Ironically, it's a Black Friday sale and it's called Black Dragon. Yeah, the scent is lovely, but it's not something I'd normally go for. It's in the same vein as Tobacco Vanille from Tom Ford. I get very stuck on an idea. Can you see the bottle okay? I'm going to try and change this light a little bit. It looks more beautiful in life than it does on this camera. It's really satisfying, and it really isn't about the bottle. The scent is really nice as well. It's a honeyed smoked vanilla. It's very smoky and it's very honeyed. It's not quite so much of the vanilla. I'm not a massive fan of honey in fragrance. I can find it can be quite dirty, quite waxy. It just doesn't vibe with me. Something about this scent though, luckily, I do find it quite addictive. There's something about the way the honey, it's sort of dry, and I guess it is a bit waxy, like candle wax, but it's not that animalic sickly. It's more that the texture of a candle perhaps, and the smokiness sort of just hits it and creates something very, very addictive. It's dry. It's definitely a dry honeyed smoke. I was worried that I'd made a mistake, but I do crave it. I really like that I've got something a bit different. Sometimes you just want to completely break away from the norm, break away from what you're used to getting, and just wear something completely different just for the experience. And that's kind of this is what this does for me. So I am happy that I've got it. I'm glad I didn't pay full price for it, and I'm enjoying it. So that is Black Dragon by Greedo. I thought I had one more fragrance to share with you, and there's actually 3. There's way more here than I even realised. So embarrassing. I've got one from Ormande actually. From their Route de Soy collection, I bought Indus. Really love Indus. It's a rose fragrance. It's a beautiful rose. I can't remember any of the notes at all, but I find this to be a quite gourmand rose. But it's not a gourmand scent. This is a gourmand rose surrounded by waxy aldehydes and something green. The rose is almost strawberry-ish. It's really delicious. You've got to search for that though, because as a whole, I find it quite waxy, like an aldehyde wax, which is what gives it an elegant touch, gives it a finished, elegant, ladylike touch. And I feel like there's a green touch in here as well. It's really lovely. It's very mature, almost lipsticky. It's almost like a lipsticky rose. And I really, really love it. I used to have Damask, which was a much more berried rose, like a berry rhubarby sort of a rose. And there was something in that, I think it was the amber, it used to just bother me, and I ended up selling that bottle. It turns out this is the one that I should have got in the first place, because it is one that I've actually been wearing a hell of a lot and I really enjoy it. We have a delicious scent that I love from Parfums here. This is their latest release, and this is, how do you pronounce it? Is it Althair? Althair, I think it's pronounced. This bottle is absolutely adorable. It's such a tactile satisfaction in the hand. It's clunky, it's chunky, and it's pumpkin coloured. It's fantastic. I bought this around, I think it was around October. So it was kind of my autumn, October fragrance. This actually just got Perfume of the Year. Is it by Scent and Explore? So that's interesting. I don't know, I mean, each to their own. I love it. I'm not sure it's the most wonderful fragrance on earth, but I'm certainly enjoying it. When I first tried this, I wasn't sure about it because there were aspects of it that reminded me of Saffenad. Saffenad I did not enjoy from this house at all. Orange Blossom heavy, but something about the Orange Blossom in Saffenad and this one has a quality to it, like it's been burnt, or that it's sickly or heady. There's something heady. It's not so much like that in this, thank goodness. That tones right down after the initial spray. I think there's praline in here. Definitely a massive dollop of vanilla. That's the aspect that I really connected to and loved and enjoyed and just found so Moorish through October. The Orange Blossom does settle down. She kind of backs off a bit, thank God. But I love that combination. It's such a lovely, delicious, Moorish combination. As it dries down, I just love how the vanilla kind of comes out and becomes caramel. Well, I guess it's the praline, but it becomes caramelized and sweet, but rich, dense and rich and Moorish. Not too heavy though. I think there's a musk that's kind of, you know, blowing it all around, not making it too weighty. But this is great. This is great stuff. I love it. So that is my kind of, yeah, it's my October fragrance, but I'm so happy to have that. I've stopped wearing it now that we're in December because I've got very specific December scents because I'm a bit OCD like that. I pushed these back a bit because I want to talk about my last purchase here, but I also really want to share with you all the ones I've enjoyed the most in the last sort of month. Okay, this is a really special fragrance, really special. And it's a bit of a saga. I'll try and get it to the short version. On my last fragrance video haul, was it a haul? I can't remember. I talked about a fragrance that I was so happy to finally have, and it was Tonka Imperial. It was a big 200ml bottle. I got it from eBay. It was a tester bottle, and despite being over the moon to have it, there was something in that scent that was bugging me. It was bothering me. It didn't seem 100%, and that's a lot of juice to not be sure about. I was really underwhelmed about it for some reason, and I had to really think about this fragrance because I spent a long time trying to get hold of it. Anyway, in the end, I made a decision and sold it. I knew that something wasn't quite right with that bottle. I think it's a new formulation. It's the newer bottles. This is just my opinion. I think there's a reformulation. It could just be that it's a tester bottle. It was more aromatic. It was thinner in the scent. It wasn't the same. It didn't have that deep, powdery texture, that beautiful quality. It just lacked it. That's the part of it that I loved. I found an old bottle on eBay. Well, not old, but it's the older bottles. And I snapped this thing up. I didn't overpay. It was okay. The price was okay. It was a partial. I've used already. It was only a tiny bit gone. I've used so much of this. Welcome back, my beautiful Tonka Imperial. This is it. This is the stuff. This is the nectar that I've wanted. It's exactly as it's supposed to be. Powdery, marzipan-y texture. Fluffy almond. Warming, Play-Doh-ish, lightly aromatic, very lightly. Love the scent, and that's the difference. This scent, this bottle with this juice, absolutely over the moon. Can't stop wearing it, can't stop thinking about it. So safe to say, I'm very pleased with this purchase. So if you haven't fallen asleep and you're still sticking around, I want to show you all the ones I've enjoyed the most, the ones I've loved the most. So there's 6 more fragrances, and they're the ones that I currently can't get enough of. They're in a constant rotation, and we're going to go through them. So needless to say, one of them is, of course, this beauty, Tonka Imperial Guerlain Art and Materials Collection. Cannot get enough. Almond in marzipan. Tonka, obviously the beautiful soft Tonka, Play-Doh aromatic. Oh my god, it is the best. So Tonka Imperial, beautiful. Gris Dior. Been wearing the heck out of this one. Really surprising myself. It's just something so different about wearing it in the winter. I don't know what it is. It's just different to me. There's a quality that comes through in the rose and the oak moss and patchouli. It's so special. It's my winter floral, my purple winter floral, and I absolutely love it. Next, I've been wearing the crap out of this beauty. This is Misia from Chanel. This is their less exclusives collection. This is actually the EDT, which is very subtly different to the EDP. This one has, I think, a bigger dose of iris. It's got more of a waxy lipsticky vibe, but this is all about the violet though. This is the most beautiful violet fragrance. It's like a leathery nuance. It has a sort of a bit of a gothic touch to it. It's a bit dark, but right in the dry down, you finally get just the violet. This is kind of Parma violet. It's absolutely stunning. On occasion, I've actually worn both of these. They don't layer. I wear one on one arm, one on the other. It's like I split myself down the middle and just can't decide. So one half of me is a Gris Dior girl, the other half of me is a Misia girl. They're both purple winter florals, so it kind of works. But yeah, just working for now, working for this season is fantastic. Next, I've been actually wearing this one from Tom Ford a lot, Vanille Fatal. This is kind of like my evening scent, like a cozy evening vanilla fragrance. It's very kind of suave. It reminds me of a gentleman, like a gentleman's kind of vanilla. There's something a little, I don't know, mature and polished and a bit antiqued. There's quite a lot of sandalwood, I think, in here. In the dry down, I often smell this and think, oh, I've sprayed sandalwood. I haven't got a sandalwood fragrances, but actually it's always this. So there's quite a bit of sandalwood in Vanille Fatal. Well, I don't know, is there? But it feels like there is. It's like a custard vanilla and an antiqued furniture sort of scent and sandalwood. But I love that Tom Ford DNA in this one. It's really beautiful and it's really working at the moment. That's beautiful for the evenings. We have my beloved Bleu Lazuli from Armani Privé. This is one of my absolute favourites of all time. So we have, again, another winter staple. It's another one that I'll only wear in the winter. It just seems to come alive. I've always said it reminds me of the winter snow, the texture of snow, something cold about it. And yet, despite how much I love this fragrance, I can never remember the notes. I go blank on it every time. I know there is cardamom and woods. Oh, there's definitely tea. It's just, oh, how do you describe this? It's luxurious. It's a very opulent, powdery fragrance. It's a dense, powdery scent, very lightly spiced. It has a cold surface, a cold, soft surface. I think that's coming from the tea. It's almost like old school luxury kind of a feel. It's magical to me. It feels magical, winter magic, whimsical for sure. If I never knew the notes, I would be convinced that there's some sort of violet in here, but it'll be a cold, chalky violet. I don't know. There's just that texture that I absolutely love in here, and it's stunning, and that just works for now. It's absolutely beautiful. So this last fragrance I want to talk about and leave you with for 2023 is the most successful and favourite of my fragrance purchases of the whole year, alongside this particular Tonka Imperial. This one is pure magic. It's amazing. I'm so happy to have found this fragrance. It's so me and I absolutely love it. So from the house of Radolescent, this is Alice. So again, from Radolescent, we talked about QH. This is Alice from that collection. I absolutely fell over, head over heels, down the rabbit hole, much like Alice did in this shot. So you can see the bottle lid is just so cute with her legs, feet sticking out of her dress, and that is Alice. Such an unusual one. It's weird and wonderful. Hard to describe this. I highly, highly recommend checking out the Alice collection from Radolescent. 3 fragrances that are all completely different, all mad, and all very significantly like their character that they're inspired by. Alice has this light blue feel about it. It's classed as a forget-me-not chypre, which is very unusual and very cool and quirky. This forget-me-not is a phantom note made up of other florals. I swear there's tuberose in here, and I really don't like tuberose. I really don't. But it's an aspect of tuberose that I enjoy in this. There's a smokiness in here, a real sort of light, sweet smoke. It reminds me of struck matches. It gives it a beautiful, ghostly atmosphere, a kind of haunted, ghostly smoke. But it's sweet, like sweet flour cookies mixed with a haunting and magical, mysterious smoke. Very niche, very artisan, really cool, really wearable, as well as being so unusual. I think it will wear differently on different people. It's so worth checking out. I absolutely adore this fragrance. I'm head over heels for it, and I cannot get enough, clearly. So that's the fragrance I'm leaving you with for 2023. These are all my most worn. These are all my newest purchases. I hope you enjoyed the video. Have a very happy Christmas and New Year. Thanks for watching as always. Over and out.